guys, thanks for watching the latest Sliptember video, and today I wanted to give you a couple of examples of where maintenance has had a big effect on slip safety in buildings that I've been invited to have a look at before. So I already gave you an example of cleaning to some extent when we were talking about contamination. So if you remember, there was a floor surface that was specified as a slip-resistant surface. It achieved a good pendulum test value, a good level of slip resistance when it was laid, but quite rapidly it became slippery because of the lack of effective cleaning and maintenance and the build-up of contamination. So we won't talk about that, but what I wanted to talk about today was wear and tear, and a couple of real-world examples of where I've seen this happen. So the first was in a train station, and I spoke about train stations the other day, and the second in an industrial kitchen, but actually I've seen this in many industrial kitchens over the years. And this is where you have a resin textured sort of industrial anti-slip floor finish on the floor, and those, as long as they're installed properly, do give good levels of wet and contaminated slip safety, so that's great. However, you do need to monitor them. So in both these cases I'm thinking of, what we found was that the floor surface in the heavily trafficked areas had started to wear smooth, and you could tell that just by touching. So I remember crouching down in the station and running my hand over the floor in the highly trafficked centre of this kind of corridor area. It was a bridge actually, and then doing the same thing right at the side near the wall, and it was like chalk and cheese. And you find exactly the same thing in kitchens as well. So the heavily trafficked areas, after a while, feel them and they'll feel smooth. Run your hand under where the machinery is, or the equipment, the ovens, for example, making sure the oven's not on, obviously, and you'll feel a big difference. So it's something that we need to be mindful of, and we need to then think about monitoring it, because what you can find is that the floor will still look slip resistant, so people assume that it's safe to walk on, thinking about individual and human factors. If we perceive a floor to be slip resistant, we won't take as much care as if we perceive a floor to be slippery, and that's when accidents can happen. So that's another example and a good reason why we're recommending and we're calling for annual pendulum slip testing to be done in commercial buildings and public buildings, because that testing would flag up this kind of wear and tear before it becomes too big an issue, and hopefully then would prevent an accident from happening, rather than waiting for something to have happened and then calling somebody like myself or my team in to have a look and finding that actually there's a fundamental issue. Hope that's been useful, given you some food for thought, and I'll look forward to seeing you with more 𝐀𝐁𝐎 content next week. But tomorrow we're going to have a video about our slip safety scorecard, and this is a great tool which I'll talk you through, but it's also another way how you can win a free slip test in Sliptember as well. Cheers.